Hey guys, welcome back to No Regrets, the channel where we hope to glorify God in all that we do and encourage you to read more books. Today is book review day. We're going to be reviewing The 9 Princes of Amber. This is the second book that I've completed this year, along with The Lost Metal. And I'm excited to review this book. I enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy it. There was a lot of feelings that I felt with this book. And quite honestly, I've never read a book personally like this before. So sit back, relax, let's get into it. Okay, so again, we have the Chronicles of Amber, books 1 through 10, not just the 9 Princes of Amber. And I wanted to make sure at the beginning of this video, I shouted out to Lycast, who commented on my last video that I started off with the broke mic. This is what I'm able to use, and I'm not embarrassed at all, but I love you, Lycast. As well as I want to take the opportunity right off the bat to say thank you to everybody who came through from the BookTube community. It means a lot. I didn't really expect it, to be honest. But without further ado, let's jump into the 3 main topics that I hope to discuss in regards to all the books that I do. This will be the format that I use moving forward with any reviews. So first, we're going to talk about highs and lows of the book. Highs and lows is simply the good points and the not so good points. Second, we're going to be talking about how the book relates to other books, or like, is there other content out there that I could maybe give you a perspective on how the book kind of unfolds. And then thirdly, how the book unfolds, as well as content review for the book. It's very interesting to me in that I wasn't expecting how the book starts off. So I will give a brief introduction to the book, that way you can kind of get a feel of it. So the main character, his name is Corwin, he wakes up and he doesn't know his name. So it's the traditional amnesia type bout where he's not sure who he is, what's going on, the whole nine. And this book, as the book progresses, you're finding out more and more. I would say the highs of this book are that 1, it has great pacing. 2, the characters are very enjoyable. It's not so much a relating thing, but the author helps me to get a grasp of what the characters are about. The ones you need to be nervous about, you're nervous about. The ones that you wouldn't trust, he gives you that feel of like, I don't know about this guy or girl. And then thirdly, I would say that the descriptions are very beautiful. I'm a sucker for if I can get immersed into the world, if I can when it's describing these like giant trees, or like there's a area with water. I won't say much more than that. It's absolutely beautiful. So those elements I really, really enjoy. So now moving on to the lows, I didn't like how there wasn't enough description. For book 1 of the Chronicles of Amber only has 126 pages, or at least according to this novel. It's just 126 pages. And there was a number of places where I wished he would have given me more detail. There would have been some aspects of fights or exploration where, to his credit, he does say, I won't bore you with the details. Like, the character actually says that as if he's talking to the author. So this makes me think that he's writing a letter or something. I'm not sure. But anyways, there just wasn't enough depth. There wasn't enough detail. And some of the things, even though I did compliment that he has great pacing, some of the pacing, it's not jarring. It's just, here we are in this place, wintertime. Okay, we're back over here and it's not winter. And you're like, okay, so we're moving on, I guess, really quickly. And I don't know, wasn't my cup of tea. So let's move on to content review. In this section, I'd like to just discuss brief, non-descriptive elements of what you can expect in the book. All right, so first off, there is a little bit of language in the book. You can expect to see a little bit of cursing, cussing, however you would refer that, but there's language in the book. There is 1 or 2, I believe, elements where there is a description of the top part of a lady that is bare. It is very, very brief, and it's supposed to be a cultural thing, not so much a sensual or sexualized element. It's a brief, the character notices this and then moves on. like literally in the sentence, that's how it goes. But just beware of that. So then beyond this element, there's not any further adult content regarding relationship stuff or sexual content, nothing like that, which I was grateful for. So I also want to mention that there are some fight scenes, there is some elements of bloodshed, but it's not overly gory, which again I appreciate. It gets the point across that this battle was won, this engagement ended because this happened. It didn't go in great depth about somebody having some giant massive gash or wound or something like that. So otherwise, I would say that there is a moment where it does give a description of someone having their eyes put out, as well as you can expect a lot of politics, a lot of betrayal, but it's not it's not overly heavy with these elements. You can just expect these elements in the book. So finally, let's move on to would I recommend this book to you and what's my overall rating. So if you guys follow me on Goodreads, which I'll link below in the description box, I did rate this book a 4. Obviously, Goodreads doesn't have a lot of detail in how you can rate. It's either a 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. And I didn't want to rate it a 5. I also don't think that it's a 4. My personal rating would be a 3.5 out of 5. This means that it was a great start to the Chronicles of Amber. I do plan on continuing to read this book. The second book is called The Guns of Avalon. I do fully plan to get going in this book. One, because the read is relatively short, so it's not something I have to sink a whole lot of time into. And then also, I am engaged in what's going on with the story. However, I'm really hoping that as the books progress, that he flows a little better. So, okay, guys, if you're thinking about picking this book up and you're wondering what could I relate it to, if you're a fan of books that have the amnesia type thing, you're finding out what the character is learning as the character is learning, if that makes sense, I guess I should word it. The information that you're finding out, the character is finding out at the same time. That's a better way to say it. So if that seems appealing to you, I can't think of a book series or even a standalone that's like this. There have been shows and movies that come out where the main character, whatever that show was way back when, where the woman woke up in the middle of New York and she popped out of a bag and had tattoos all over herself and she was figuring it out as she went along. It's like that. However, there is moments of clarity where this isn't a book that, like, in the last 10 pages it's like a tidal wave of all the information hits you all at once, and you just have this like, oh, so that's what that meant. He finds it out at a great pace, or he finds out about himself at a great pace. And I would say just expect to find this information out as the character does, as opposed to books like, say, Harry Potter or something like that, where you get this POV of like what Voldemort's doing, and then you jump back to Harry, or, you don't know what the bad guys are doing. Your only POV is Corwin, stays on Corwin, and then as he has these revelations or he's figuring things out, you're figuring it out. That seems appealing. This book's for you. All right, guys, that's about it for the 9 Princes of Amber. I enjoyed it. I look forward to reading the second book, The Guns of Avalon. And yeah, I just think that if you gave this book the time of day, it's worth it. So in my personal opinion, if I give a book a 3, it's worth reading, but it may not, knock your socks off. I gave this book again a 3.5, and that just means like this was a great book to start with, and I have hopes for the future. I have hopes that in the next 9 books, because there are 10 in total, the author finds his way, and maybe there was an intention in how he wrote this book specifically, the way he did, I guess you could say. If you guys want a spoiler review of any of the books that I do, make sure to throw a comment down at the bottom. I love reading your guys' comments, and then I also have a Discord to which you can come through, engage with me, and I do plan on engaging with you guys here on YouTube. God bless you guys, and of course, see you in the next one.